Hi, bows and bow ties. Okay, so I am back. I'm wearing, look, y'all gonna laugh. You see what I'm wearing? I'm wearing a dress with a sports bra. Look, y'all just gonna have to leave me alone. It's just how it's going down today. Maybe I should turn the light on. Can you guys see me okay? Maybe I should turn the light on. I don't know. All right, so look, Gen Z, y'all are just jacked up. Gen Z's jacked up. This is the thumbnail I will upload after this live is over. You guys are jacked up. You're all the way jacked up. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, so look, these are just my opinions. Don't get mad. They're just my opinions. Okay, so let me just say this. I know everybody goes through their whole thing, right? Let me say this. Number one, I need you to go ahead and just subscribe ahead of time because I'm amazing and perfect in every way and I can do no wrong. Number two, go ahead and like this video in advance. Now look, it's Friday. Um, I'm going to be leaving in about 10 or 15 minutes. Well, actually, I have to prepare for, I have book club tonight and I need to finish listening to this book. I have about an hour and 14 minutes left on speed. And I already prepared my food stuff and I need to feed my family before I roll out. Okay, I just have to get it all out. So look, let me just say something about Gen Z for a second. Okay, so look, I'm not talking about the millennials, they're Gen Y. I'm talking about Gen Z. Y'all are jacked up. Y'all are all the way jacked up. Now, this is the reason why I say this. Gen Z identifies with nothing and everything. You guys want to be part of something, but you want to be individualistic. I don't understand what the heck is going on with Gen Z. Look, let me just say, I just have a couple of notes. Number one, y'all can't even figure out who the heck you are. Y'all are like, I'm nothing, I'm everything, I'm no gender, I'm a transgender, I'm a regular gender. I'm like, I can't figure out what you guys are all about. So, this is the thing. How are you going to change the world when you don't even want to be part of the world and figure out how it works? You're disassociating yourself from everything because you're like individualistic, but not really. I can't figure out what the heck is going on. It's like you can't really make it better because you don't want to make it better. You just want to complain about how everybody's offended, everyone's upset. I don't understand. You're not consistent on anything. Now, I actually like the younger generations. I'm actually a fan of the millennials because I'm technically Gen X. I actually like younger generations just because you get so much innovation and change and everything like that. But sometimes we gotta call out the shenanigans. Now, the other day I was at work and I actually was online for a second. And it came across it came across my internet and I actually started hee-hawing because there was something that came out. I should have brought it up that Demi Lovato is now going back to using her and she or she, her, or whatever the pronouns. And I'm like getting my hee haws at the whole weird Gen Z expense because I'm like, I didn't know she wasn't using she and her and all this other stuff. So I'm like, why can't y'all figure out who the heck you are? I'm just like, we can't keep up with pronouns. We can't keep up with genders. I didn't even know the chick wasn't even a she and a her. I was like, what is going on? She literally was like, I'm back to using my other pronouns now. I'm like, Gen Z's trying to change how we're using language. I have never met a bunch of people, and it's not just Gen Z, but Gen Z seems to be going through it. I have not met a bunch of people who are so confused about who they are. Like, there's like honing who you are and finding yourself in your career and all this other stuff. But I'm like, literally, we've got postmodernism kicking in. People are like, I challenge all facts. Like, facts aren't facts because everyone has their own truth. So it's like your truth doesn't necessarily have to be true because you're following your own truth. So your truth can be negated. I'm like, what is going on with Gen Z? Why are you guys so confused? Gen Z is out there. I'm like, oh, drop stuff. All right. So this is the thing. I'm like, getting back to this. I'm like, how are we going to have Gen Z change the world when they can't figure out who they are in relation to the world? There's this the goalpost keeps moving. It's like shooting at fish in a barrel. We've got, and then look, I'm still cracking up over the LGBT community because I'm like, there's so many letters now. I'm like, you got identify with nothing and identify with everything. Like I said, I feel like the LGBT community is exclusionary. I want to add in the H for the heterosexuals now because everybody is everything. Everything is everything. It's just one big community. It's not a community, but I guess it's a community. I can't tell if it's a nation because it's so amorphous. It's like there's no boundaries, but there are boundaries. I don't know. I don't understand you, Gen Z. Gen Z. We're going to talk about this pronoun situation. Now, like I've said in other videos, I'll call you whatever you want me to call you, but it doesn't mean I believe in the shenanigans. I don't care how many ways you want to dissect and definitions and putting it back together. Then you get upset when people don't agree. And as soon as people don't agree, they say you're a phobe. I'm like, what is going on? So I'm like, what I noticed about Gen Z is like, you're so smart, but so unrealistic. So I look at how Gen Z is so caught up in like this overconsumption of the media, feeding all of these weird ideas. And it's like Gen Z wants to buck everything. And every generation goes through this type of thing, right? And as you get older, you get more conservative. But Gen Z is like literally like facts aren't facts, even though facts are typically immutable, right? But they're like, no, no, it's not my truth. So it can't be true. My truth is my truth. I'm like, okay, facts are immutable now. So anyway, I just feel like when I see Gen Z, it's like I feel like they're just really apathetic. Like they like the world sucks. Well, we all kind of know like the world is ghetto, right? The world is like ghetto, trailer. What I'm trying to find all the most tacky things I could say, like country, neckish, all that hood. It's all of that. The world is off the chain. And I feel like Gen Z is like trying to disassociate itself from the world and focus on individualism, which also is a problem, right? Because you don't build community. That's the reason why I always circle back to the LGBT. I can't quite tell what community it is because it just changes so much. I'm like, is it a real community? Is it a nation? Is it an amorphous nation that changes like an amoeba, like a blob, like the shape of water, or let me say, or the shape of liquid? If I'm going to be nerdy, I would say, like, so a liquid is something that takes the form of its container, right? Gases do not, and then solids maintain their shape. So a liquid takes the form of its container. And then if you spill a liquid, then it loses its form. That's how I associate Gen Z. It's just all over the place. They overshare and overconsume. It's like a generation of extremes. They consume too much media and they mistake the media, social media, for truth. They share too much. They don't save a little for themselves. And I find that they have so much investment in social media, and I feel like there's not enough investment in people. I could be 100% wrong. I have been wrong before. You see me? Did you see how I just like, you know, and I'll be wrong again. But these are just my opinions. Let me go ahead and hit this real quick. Go ahead and subscribe. Just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. But anyway, Gen Z, y'all are tripping right now. I'm trying to figure out what is their plan. So everyone's like, I don't want to work. And I'm sitting here laughing because like not everybody's meant to be an entrepreneur. I can't get the words out. Entrepreneur right away. And I'm not saying you should just live to work. What I am saying is there's a lot of value you find in working in the beginning part of your life. And of course, if you want to be an entrepreneur, I'm all for it. There's so many lessons you learn in when I say working, you find purpose, you learn values, you learn so many different things because you're forced to work with other people. When I say work, using work in the name of the definition, right? But you're forced to interact and to collaborate with other people. Human, you learn emotional intelligence. You learn how to read the room. Because see, it's hard to be emotionally intelligent when you're getting most of your data from the media, especially when you're texting and typing and stuff like that. Yeah, Gen Z. I don't understand. Y'all are like off the chain. Y'all are Gen Z is jacked up Gen Z. I feel almost as if there needs to be like this what do you call it? Movement to do less with social media, connect with people more, like literally connect with people more. I feel like I need to turn on the light. I find that people, why did I write this? Oh, I said that Gen Z is just deeply offended by everything. Everything is offensive. I can't even say, you know what, she went over there to get this. Like, you made an assumption that I'm a she and all sorts of stuff. And look, let me tell you, this is an experience that happened to me probably maybe a year and a half ago. I was leaving out of the building. Oh gosh. And so, okay, when I leave for the day, I usually make a pit stop. I go to the ladies' room, and then that way I can just, make my way home, and the rest is history. I stopped in the ladies' room and I was like, oh, and I went to go back out because I was like, oh my goodness, I walked into the men's room. And I'm not sure if it was a woman or a man, but the woman said she was a woman, but I didn't know if it was because she was trans or she was. I didn't know what was going on. Like, I don't know if it was, I'm going to say she, but I thought I was in the men's bathroom, so I didn't know if this was a woman trying to be a man or if this was a woman who was really a woman who just looked masculine. I was so confused. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm afraid she's gonna. I don't know. I don't know what was going on, but I thought it was the women's room, and I saw her, and I was like, what just happened here? So the woman, no, 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 no. It's okay. It's okay. I'm a woman. I'm a woman. I'm like, okay. So I'm getting back out. And I'm like looking at the door. I'm like, no, this is one bathroom. And I was so embarrassed. And then I'm like, I tried to clean it up because I didn't want to hurt this person's feelings. And I was like, no, no, no. Yeah, I didn't think you were a man, but I was just, and I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. I couldn't even figure out, am I in the wrong place? Or was the person in the wrong place? Did I offend somebody? Because I'm thinking when I first walked in, I honestly thought it was a dude. But then apparently it was a woman who just looked masculine, or maybe the person was going through the change. I don't know. I don't know. All I know was I thought I was in the wrong bathroom. So now I'm embarrassed. This person's like, no, 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 it's okay, it's okay. And I'm like feeling like, no, no, I don't have to go. Like, I'm thinking I'll go somewhere else. It was just a big kerfuffle. I messed the whole thing up. I can't figure out what the heck is going on. I still don't know what that was because I'm like, I thought I was in the right place, and I went based off of what how the person presented to me. So now you can't trust presentation because people can claim and do whatever they want. Gen Z, y'all need to stop. You need to stop. I just felt like Gen Z is offended by everything. Um, I was listening to something the other day, and somebody said that they were offended that Beyonce used the word spaz or something. I don't know when she used it. I think it was recently in something. I'm like, no, who was it that said that? I was listening to something online, and it's so interesting because when I was growing up, when we used the word spaz, it was used to be like, hey, like calm down, like you're doing too much, you're like being extra, right? Stop spazzing out. And now I think it's associated with maybe somebody with a disability or something like that. I never even knew that. Now spaz is offensive. Well, anything's offensive. Like if you say, "Oh my goodness, you're doing too much," that could be offensive, right? But the word spaz, I didn't even know was associated with disability. I'm like, oh my goodness, we're just redefining language. Or maybe it's always been associated with someone with disability. I don't know. Gen Z, jacked up Gen Z, you're doing too much. You're changing languages. I can't figure out what gender everyone is. I can't keep up with the pronouns. Sometimes you're a he and a she, and then I mean a her and she and they, and then I'm like, well, when do I use it? And how do I know? Now do I gotta ask? Like, why can't I just say like, what's your name? I took my son to a college. What do you call it? Like when you do like an orientation because he's looking at colleges. And I remember I was just getting ready to ask like which direction is the so and so. I'm like, what building are we in? And the tour guide was like, "Hi, my name is so and so, and my pronouns are he, him, and something else." And all of us that were there were like, "Wait, what? Like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about?" So now I'm like, I just want to know where like the food halls are. I want to know where the dorms are, what they look like, how close they are. What does the police presence look like? Is this the student union? Like all these other things. And so I'm looking around, and parents are looking around like, oh, okay. Like it was like, why are you telling us this? We don't care how you identify. Like, just tell me your name and tell me about this school. Anyway, this is the thing. Now, this is going to make some of you really upset with me. So you might as well just go ahead and unsubscribe. I feel like everyone has mental health issues. Now, when I say this, I do believe everyone has some sort of mental health issue. I've got my own mental health issues I deal with all the time. Everybody's got traumas, right? But I feel like Gen Z just seems to really like have a lot of, I feel like at some point, when do we toughen up? I always say this, like if you've got trauma, it's your job to deal with, like when you become an adult, deal with those things. But also, life is dealing with adversity too. I'm not saying you shouldn't recognize or whatever, but I just feel like we're just Gen, Gen Z is jacked up. It's just like you got too many problems now. Everybody's got mental health. I just can't. Like I'm just kind of like, oh my gosh. It's becoming so commonplace that it's almost like a common abnormality now, like having a cold or something. I can't. I don't know what's going on. All right, almost done because this has gone on longer than it should have. I feel like I said, I mentioned this earlier, Gen Z does not handle privacy well. Hold on, let me turn on the light. It's so dark. Hold on a second. All right. I had to turn off my oven. This is probably, does that work? Can you see me now? Okay. So then I feel like they share too much. No one keeps a little bit of themselves for themselves. Let me take this off. It's been on here too long. Okay. Oversharing. Again, these are just my opinions, but go ahead and hit that like button. I'll say this. I think Gen Z, now check this out. I want you to lean in. This is my thoughts on this. Gen Z likes to claim everything is their okay, everybody's hitting me up. I'm supposed to be doing book club down by the pool, and it looks like there might be a storm or something, so I don't know what's going on. So look, Gen Z, in my opinion, since they like to rewrite truth, I'm poking at Gen Z a little bit, but I actually like y'all, but y'all be tripping sometimes. I feel like with this whole their own truth, it keeps them away from being accountable. Because if everybody has their own truth, I mean, we all say that, hey, I'm walking in my own truth. But then there's people who really believe like they have their own truth. So then you're not accountable for anything else, right? Well, I don't believe that. I believe this. This is my truth. So it can't be offensive. It can't be wrong. It can't be ethically wrong. It can't be these things, right? Because I have my own personal truth. And I guess to some extent we all do, because that's when ethics kick in. Like, morals and mores are things that are taught. You get your foundation, whether it's from religion, it could be from nature or philosophy or science, right? And ethics are deeply personal. They're based off of learned experiences, right? But I think because Gen Z is taking it to a whole other level, if you don't have any, and I know I say this with earmarks around it, universal truths, well, then you're never going to be accountable for anything, because if you do something that is not in alignment with your community, with your nation, with your society, with your state, your nation state or whatever, then what happens is you're never wrong. You can't be wrong, right? Because you don't believe in anybody else's things. So it actually keeps you from being accountable. That's not my truth. You can say that's not my truth. It's almost like lazy. It's like a different type of protectionism, right? Like, no, I don't believe that. I don't believe in that. So I didn't do anything wrong. So why should I believe in what you believe in, right? And to some extent, I get it, but it's like a way of just not being accountable. So I liken all of this to hermeneutics, right? And hermeneutics basically is dealing with the interpretation, and it's typically, I think, associated more like with like biblical principles, but I think it still is relevant here. Like, people just have their own interpretation of everything. So now there's no accountability for everything, because we just believe in our own everything. Anyway, hey, don't come in here. Don't come in here. I just need about like 1 minute to finish up my live, okay? So anyway, getting back to this, I think a lot of it's based off of that weird postmodernism. It's like a whole bunch of irrational stuff. And I kept saying individualism, and individualism really is more like modernism. But I feel like I'm almost done. You can go around that way. I feel like with what's going on, this is very postmodernist. I'll prepare that shortly. Just give me 2 seconds. I just feel like they want to challenge the truth, which is always good to challenge things. But I feel like the truth is never the truth. It's never. So that's just where I'm at with it. The truth is never the truth. I think the truth is very individual. This is what I'm writing down, and I just feel like it means that you can never not be right. That's how I view it. All right, jacked up Gen Z, y'all are great and effed up at the same time. You guys need to figure out what your life is about. You need to figure out. You just need to figure some stuff out. I'm exhausted trying to figure out why you guys are always mad. You guys are mad about everything. There's a movement for everything. Tomorrow there might be a movement for buttons or something. I mean, like, like I'm tired of people accosting me with the zippers, and you know what? This is offensive because it's very ASMR. Like, oh my goodness, they are blowing me up. I mean, like, they might find a way to be offended by zippers. It sounds very ASMR. You are insulting my hearing, and I feel like everybody should be wearing buttons. Oh my gosh, they are going off the chain. So anyway, let me get off of this thing because they're blowing me up. I got to finish the rest of this book. I got to prepare this meal, and I'm going to be listening to it on 1.5. I need to put it at 1.7 speed on Audible. All right. Jacked up Gen Z, don't be mad at me. Well, you can be mad. It's all right. How do I get out of here? Where's my situation? Let me get on out of here. Look. Go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and like this.